Hello everyone and welcome back to my The General Hospital 24 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. So Brick will unmask word to Jason Morgan and Sonny Corinthos. Let's talk about what's coming up on Thursday's action-packed occasion. At Jordan Ashford's place, she'll partake some kittenish moments with Isaiah Gannon before she confides in him. Jordan may offer updates on her coming way regarding Jen Sidwell and stir up more enterprises for Isaiah. Over with Harrison Chase, he'll speak with Brooke Lynn Quartermaine and reflect on commodity he'll just have to get used to. Chase will still be floundering over the news that Dante Falconeri sired Brooke Lynn's child, but he'll know how important it's to keep the secret, indeed if that means deceiving his maid and friend. Brooke may calf Chase about his recent battle with Lulu Spencer and advise it was a bad idea to poke the bear. Nonetheless, Chase will feel like it was important to put Lulu in her place and push her to keep her mouth shut. Next, it looks like Molly Lansing Davis will try to make some progress in her relationship with Christina Corinthos Davis. It seems Christina will repel at first, so Molly will give her an occasion to keep the way effects are if she'd prefer. Still, Molly may admit she'd like to have a real bond as sisters again and wonder if Christina wants that, too. Maybe Molly will make a vaticination about getting their connection back if they put the work in. At Charlie's Cantina, Lucky Spencer will catch Elizabeth Baldwin off guard when he asks her to go down for the weekend with him. While Liz mulls over that assignation, Rick Lansing will apologize to Alexis Davis for their recent conflict. We'll see Alexis and Rick try to come together for Molly's sake as they meet in her office. Across city, Ava Jerome will talk to Nina Reeves about seeing Sonny with fresh eyes. Will Ava discover Sonny's collapse and lozenge bottle drama or avoid going into the details with Nina? Anyhow, trouble will be brewing. Formerly Christina tampers with Ava's auto and sets off a chain response that should drag Rick and Elizabeth into the crash mayhem. Brick will also have a lead on the man who nearly burned Michael to death, so he'll share what he's learned with Sonny and Jason. Jason and Sonny should get a step closer to chancing out who blew up the extension, but Jason will be on edge in Thursday's occasion and may suppose they need to do with caution. Eventually, Felicia Scorpio will back Sasha Gilmore Corbin into a delicate corner, so this could involve questions about Jason or indeed Sidwell now that Sasha's struck a deal with him. At the WSB, Brennan watches as Vaughn and another man administer a taradiddle sensor test to Joss. She's asked if she blames Sonny for Morgan's death, but she doesn't. She blames the person who set the lemon. When asked what she'd do if she came face to face with them, the Needles begins to go a bit crazy. She ultimately calms herself down and says she'd subdue the person and call the police. Vaughn tells Brennan she's done excellent. Vaughn leaves them to talk, and Joss asks what that question about her family was about. She calls it a low blow. He says it was a test, and she needs to be suitable to control her feelings and lie through her teeth. Can she do that? Joss asks what's the coming test, and he tells her that her mama is in the sanitarium with polonium poisoning. She's been given the cure and will recover. Joss asks if she can see her. Jack says she can, but if she leaves, she won't be coming back. Brennan shows her a live feed of Carly's room, and Joss sees she's with Jason. Joss calms down but asks how this happened. Was he the target? Brennan tells her it was Valentine who transferred champagne to his room, and Carly drank it while he was in the shower. Joss asks if he cares about her mama or if he's using her. Jack asks if it matters. Joss says it's clear they're seeing other, so it matters if he's using her and doesn't watch about her mama. Jack says she could go advise her mama, but also she'd no way be an agent. She'll be another soul searching for her place in the world. Joss says she's not leaving. Jack is glad and has to get back to Port Charles. Joss warns him if he's using her mama, she'll find out, as her mama isn't stupid. Jack agrees. Joss suits over, and we see her ankle is red and blown. She and Vaughn get back to their sparring, and he continues to envenom her about not having what it takes. When he brings up that he was watching her and Brennan agitating her mama, he catches her off guard and takes her down. She tells him that was a private discussion. He says the WSB sees and hears everything. He continues to push her buttons, and notes she could bail her mama out from Brennan right now, so what's stopping her? Back at the PCPD, Charlotte returns to the team room where her mama and Alexis are. She asks her mama to see her pop. Alexis notes it's good to be suitable to say goodbye. Lulu takes Charlotte into the interrogation room to see him. She rushes into his arms, and they clench. He tells Lulu, "Thank you." Brennan appears and tells Valentine, "It's time, your chariot awaits." Jack signs papers, and Anna releases Valentine into Jack's guardianship. She says to make sure he arrives safely, else, she'll hold him responsible. Valentine is chained and allowed to say farewell to his son for really last time. He tells her he loves her always and asks Lulu to take good care of their girl. Lulu promises. Valentine looks back at everyone before exiting and says, "Till coming time." On the coming General Hospital, Tracy asks Brooke Lynn what's gotten into her mama. Emma, with Gio by her side, says, "We've come up with a plan to save it." Lucas tells Ava, "You couldn't pay me to touch that plutocrat." At the WSB, Vaughn learns Joss has been hiding an ankle injury for 2 days. Carly meets with Jack in his office and asks him to let her talk. Liz asks Rick how important trouble Portia is in. Christina tells her pater, "Now is your chance." At the office, Lulu says, "I quit." Jason Morgan is contending against the timepiece to shield Valentine Cassadine from a vicious sabotage plot cooked up by WSB bigwig Jack Brennan, and it may end up being tied to keeping Jocelyn Joss Jacks out of the agency's crosshairs. So far, these two feel like they've little to do with one another, but we know who Joss turns to in any time of need. That's Jason. Valentine has dirt on Jack that could trip his conglomerate, but Jack is playing dirty, framing Valentine to take the fall for a slew of crimes that would keep him locked up for the rest of his life. Will the coming piece of intel Valentine gives Jason lead him to learning that Joss has been made an asset, and substantially against her will and under compulsion and torture? Meanwhile, Joss' rearmost do-gooder trick has caught the WSB's eye, and if Jason can't unravel this mess, she might end up contributory damage in Jack's war. There's just one problem: Jason doesn't know Joss is indeed tangled up with the WSB, but Commodity tells us that's about to change. Jason is back in full-on protection mode, and this time, it's Valentine he's pulling from the fire. The Cassadine mischief has been discovering the sap to Jason about Jack's shady reign over the WSB, way beyond just the Port Charles station, and it's juicy enough to make Jack sweat. But Jack isn't going down without a fight. He's a peril substantiation to leg some serious crimes on Valentine, hoping to lock him up or worse. Jason has the chops and the fortitude to dig through the falsehoods, but the timepiece is ticking. However, this alliance might bring him further than he bargained for, and leave a bigger target exposed, if he can't clear Valentine's name presto. Jack has a web of sabotage spinning, framing Valentine for everything from spying to who knows what, all to keep his own secrets buried. But then's the shocking twist: Jack's got eyes on Joss, too. Her rearmost heroics, presumably Commodity reckless and noble, have resounded the WSB radar, and Jack might use her as influence to silence Valentine's intel. However, Jack could strain his grip on Port Charles and beyond, if Jason does outthink this slick driver.